With cheese.
Spitting some of that cheese.
We're in.
Okay.
We are live.
Is that a biscuit?
I guess. Kind of dry.
Looks like it didn't roast. Okay, it's 4:00, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting of the Hardy County Board of Education to order. The first item is our prayer. Sheena, if you'd lead us, we'd appreciate that.
Sure. Father, we thank you for this time this evening we can get together and do your work. We ask for wisdom and guidance. We thank you for the holiday season when we can celebrate the birth of your son and we can get together, Lord, and thank you for the students that are here this evening that are going to entertain us, and we ask a special blessing over them. We thank you for all of your gifts and talents that you've given each of them. We ask, Lord, that you guide us in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Doug, you want to lead us in
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we'll start introductions. If we can start with you. How would you be?
Jessica Markman. Campbell. Sarah Earl. Patty Smith.
She want to do the kids?
We can. Go ahead. Just say your name. Yeah.
I'm Billy Jones. Kayla
Jennifer Strouderman.
Troy Harper.
Janet Rose.
Doug Hines.
Dixie B.
Melvin Shook.
Sean Collins.
Welcome, everyone. We're so excited to be here. All the decorations are just wonderful, and we're anxious to be able to hear the Moorfield High School Choir. You all always do such a marvelous job, and it's a real joy to get to hear you. So you all are next up, and if you want everyone, let everyone take their places there. And
Earlier. I just don't remember missing the day.
We paired it. Oh, it's here. Okay, perfect. Panic. Yeah. That's okay. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna be open your business. I apologize for that. All right. Before we start, we just picked a few selections so we didn't take up too much of your time, but just some nice pieces that bring in the holiday spirit. We hope you enjoy. Up first, we're going to sing a vocal jazz version of the Christmas song. Sorry. Wow.
He's the only one who can identify.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on its way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire.
Wow.
They all look like freshmen. They look so young. Are they all freshmen?
No, if you're a senior, raise your hand.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Those are seniors?
Junior, yeah, juniors. I only have a couple of sophomores and then a few freshmen. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They get younger all the time.
They do.
We get older.
No, it's just that we get older. I think.
Let's scrap the meeting and let them sing.
Sorry.
Let's scrap the meeting and let them sing.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
Up next, we have a piece called Mary Had a Baby, and it has Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee.
Shrink, done, gone, but the people come. Shrink, done, gone, but they keep a coming. Mary had a baby, yes, Lord. Mary had a baby, yes, Lord. Mary had a baby, yes, my Lord. The people keep a coming in the train, done, gone. Yes, Lord. Yes, my Lord. Laid him in a manger, yes, Lord.
The people keep a coming in the train, done gone.
What did she name him? Yes, Lord. What did she name him? Yes, my Lord. What did she name him? Yes, Lord. What did she name him? Named him King Jesus, yes, Lord. The people keep a coming in the train, done, gone, but the people come train, done, gone, but they keep a coming train, done, gone, but the people come train. Who heard the singing? Yes, Lord. Who heard the singing? Yes, my Lord. Shepherds with the singing, yes, my Lord. The people keep a coming in the train, done, gone. The people keep a coming in the train, done, gone.
Oh, the angels sing above.
Shepherds leave their fields to find him, searching for this child of love. All the wise men travel onward, following the star so
Wise men travel onward,
bright.
following the star so bright.
More shepherds, guides, men coming to the light. And the star will shine above him, sleeping on this holy night. Mother Mary singing softly while her babe sleeps in the hay. Yes, Lord.
Where did she lay
Yes,
him?
Lord. Laid him in a manger, named him King Jesus. Shepherds of the singing stars keep a shining, moving in the elements. Jesus was the Egypt, traveled on a donkey. Angels went around and where did she lay in Lord? Yes, my Lord. The people keep a coming in the train, the people keep a coming in the train, and the train done going. The people keep a coming on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Mary had a baby, Mary had a baby. Yes, my Lord.
And then our last selection is a piece called Season of Light. Give me a second, because I need to make sure our volume isn't too loud or too quiet.
I hope that those of you that are seniors that are going to college or university, I hope you all continue your voice. And if you're not, join your local church choir. Even if you don't attend church, go for the choir. You know?
Just start a choir.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
you guys are
wonderful.
wonderful.
You guys are so talented. It's just wonderful.
Thank you.
How does that sound to you guys? Hopefully it's not too loud.
That's sure. Turn off.
Oh, which one?
One in the
Okay.
brown.
Okay, and you know this guy? Angel Tunings.
Okay. I'm sure we probably had them.
Come sit by the fire and share stories of old, bright visions of time and of wonders we're told, surrounded by comfort and stillness of night. We live in the memories of the season of light. Come join in the cheer of the fresh falling snow, where wonder and radiance set hearts all aglow. For a moment on earth all that's wrong turns to right, and we're warm in the spirit of the season of light. Season of light, season of light, surrounded by comfort and stillness of night. We lived in the memories of the season
Can they introduce themselves again? Because we couldn't tell. Can you?
Absolutely. You're first this time.
Chris Combs,
Carolyn Oval.
Ayla Smith, Maya Shingleton, Allison Staggs,
Jedediah Blizzard.
Haley Coleman,
Cortland Out.
Haley Jones, Emily Haggerty, Emily Fanowski, Kara Cordova,
Gaten Berg. Juna Mashinsky.
Harley Kern, Debater Kern.
Guys,
Some
you're
of your
very
parents
talented.
we probably had.
Yeah.
You can see.
Yeah.
You have a
Thank you.
competition. When is your next competition?
It'll be in the spring sometime.
Very
We're still
good.
trying to nail down which one we're gonna do. They
This
want to
is
try to
good.
do something a little bit bigger.
You see,
Um,
mom and him.
But
Mhm.
then you gotta fundraise a little bit more so we can afford to do that. But-
Well, those pies were good.
Oh, thank you.
Just saying.
Thank you.
All those again.
We'll try.
That was a good one.
Yeah, we'd love to have you come again.
Great one.
Thank you all for
Thank you all
taking
very
your
much.
time to entertain us. It's wonderful.
You can breathe now.
Yes, you guys are great. You really are good. I mean,
Thank you.
first note, I was blown away.
Thank you.
And I thoroughly enjoyed every note.
Train the Board of Education staff so that we can form a choir too.
Okay. You got it. We'll be our next PE session every time. Well, thank you.
I'll do it.
Mr. Blizzard,
Thank you very much.
tell your mother
I'm the
hello.
only one.
It's a genuine question.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really good. And Jennifer, you think we could form a choir? It sounds lovely. That good?
She doesn't play piano for us.
She's got it all planned out. You can be our pianist.
I don't think you could do it.
I don't think I couldn't hear that.
Well, when they were over there,
Yeah.
No, that's why I had
couldn't.
them.
I'm glad.
because I could recognize some of their parents
Okay.
in their faces.
Well, you can look at the little Blizzard guy and know who he was. The one right in front in the tan shirt. You knew he was Angel.
The little girls over there looked- and so did the one girl here.
We're gonna try.
Pretty good.
That was good.
She always has a good fire. I mean, she's, the kids.
The little girl that sang the, what kind
Yeah,
of voice
she's
is that?
really
They had
talented.
the girl in the
She
end.
did the solo.
Soprano,
I
like that?
don't know, but she was good.
Yeah. you could tell me.
Jessica, whenever you're ready.
Yes, ma'am. We're gonna try to connect her real quick, but while I'm talking, she can try to get a code to pop up. So just a quick update, on CTE and technology. So the last time we met, we were waiting on the results for the CTE department. And now that accountability score's been released, we scored a 96 out of 100, in that realm. So the only category we missed partial points on was from our NOCTI exams. And SWOT analysis have been done with each of the programs with our post-test data from years prior, as well as our recent benchmarks. So our CTE programs have been provided with additional equipment and supply funding, so that way we can target those areas and raise those scores. As far as the launch pad, they are being winterized this week, and they will reopen again February 5th. And that's due to our semester schedule change, as well as exams and the academic calendar where our employees are out for an extended time. So far in the fall semester, we've collected over $2,400 on the launch pad. There have been over 540 items that have been sold while out there for each of our programs. We also have 2 huge apprenticeship opportunities that have came about. One of them being the Grow Your Own, which we've hired in-house 2 positions for that. We also partnered with the town of Moorfield, and they will be announcing their intern at their council meeting on Wednesday evening. So they've had 2 applicants that interviewed for that position as well. And we've launched the CWST program, which is our career work skills training program. We have 22 students that are involved in that this year as its inaugural year, which allows students to be a part of the work during the school day program. Anybody have any questions so far? Okay. As far as student development opportunities, Ms. Gagnon is going to talk to you a little more about the DECA event that happened at the Power Trip Conference. We also had FFA that participated in national and state competitions this fall, and the FCCLA engaged in some baking training to enhance their culinary expertise. Grants and equipment updates. We are pursuing a farm to cafeteria grant right now. It's in progress and will be used to replace some of our outdated equipment, our coolers and items in the meat labs, as well as some refrigeration equipment in our hospitality and tourism. That grant is due at the beginning of January. We should be hearing back from that in a few months. We'll be leveraging the high tunnels and greenhouses to supply school cafeterias with freshly grown produce, and partnering with local farmers for locally sourced items. We also have a West Virginia Teach Grant that we're working with the Department of Ed for our apprentices in the Great Room. This grant is going to help offset some of the costs that are associated with this initial apprenticeship program year, including some of the barriers for entry, professional clothing, offset some of the expenses for mentorship position and things like that. We also have an additional dual credit opportunity that we've been working on with Eastern for the business program. And that is going to allow dual credit opportunities for our students as well as parents. And we've reformatted that dual credit list to help ease understanding, which you guys will have a chance to look at a little later. And that wraps up what we've been doing in CTE for the past quarter.
Been busy.
A little busy, but good. Busy's good. As far as instructional technology highlights, camera systems, we're collaborating with a grant writer at Advantage to try to secure funding for the new camera systems at MIS and MES, as well as leveraging some of that money and install some additional security at the Launchpad site. As far as infrastructure and equipment, we're offering ongoing professional development for teachers to optimize technology in the classrooms. And our tech team members have been meeting monthly to give us some feedback with the tech plan and how well the integration is going in the classroom with the one-to-one devices from the teacher perspective as well as the student perspective. We're offering the digital PD with the vector training courses, and our virtual school enrollment has increased to 90 kids.
What is the population of the school now? Ms. Campbell?
479.
All right, well, if there are no further questions in that realm, I'm going to turn it over to the lovely Ms. Gagnon.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good. Pretty good. All right, so I'm coming here today on behalf of DECA. What is DECA? So it's an organization or a club that we have here at the high school, which prepares emerging leaders, mostly high school students. There's also a college, collegiate DECA. Emerging leaders and entrepreneurs in multiple categories such as marketing, finance, hospitality, management, and then of course all the subsections within that. This is an international organization as well.
What's it stand for?
Okay, so it used to, way back when, stand for Distributive Education Clubs of America, but now it's just kind of dropped the meaning, and it's just an acronym. So this year's executive team is comprised of 5 officers, myself as the president. Our vice president of competitive events is Elizabeth Williams. Our vice president of hospitality is Nezarod. Our vice president of finance is Leah Hose, and then our vice president of marketing and public relations is Vince. So together, we all hold the responsibility for overseeing and managing all aspects of our organization. This includes, Yellow Jacket Enterprise, which is our store we have going on down the hallway there, also over at the Launchpad. So we manage the production for that as well as the personnel. And then we also do all the decision making for our DECA chapter, paired with our advisor, Mrs. Kreitz. So this year, we just got back, last month we got back from Charlotte, North Carolina. We were there from the 15th to the 17th, and it was a conference. It was Power Trip 2024. So this is mainly for the executive teams of DECA, which we get a lot of one-on-one time with like the state officers and stuff, which is really cool, and even the international officers. With the help of Burke and Herbert Bank, we were able to attend for free. And then we attended multiple learning labs, which are like kind of conferences or workshops. And then we also networked a lot. Overall, we had a great time. We saw Justin Timberlake. We got there the very first day. And the guy bringing up our luggage, he was like, hey, what are you guys in town for? We told him, and he's like, oh, well, we figured you were in town for the Justin Timberlake concert. So, which he then told us it was 2 blocks away that night at 7:30. So we did end up going, which was really amazing. And we ended up seeing how like ticket pricing and stuff works. So I was on my phone looking for tickets on Ticketmaster, and Mrs. Kreitz was on her phone looking, I think, on SeatGeek or maybe another platform like that. And as she bought 3 tickets, the prices on mine skyrocketed in the same section because she had just bought hers. So that was really handy for us to see firsthand. So this year we were pretty busy. This October we had a breast cancer awareness project due to it being the month for breast cancer awareness. And within our production, we did a lot of shirts, like formal wear, but shirts, We did jerseys for the middle school, pink out game. We did shirts for all their family, and just anybody else who wanted it. We also did like a little basket of goodies for breast cancer survivors at the game, the high school game, I think. So then this November, we did chapter campaigns. We're still working on them, but we started them, which gives us an extra seat for ICDC, which I'll get into. We also did Power Trip, as I mentioned. So then this December, January, we're trying to work out the details. We're going to partner with the bowling alley with Mrs. Kelly Williams, and we're going to do like a chapter retreat for everyone that is in our CTE business classes to kind of get them a first-hand look at what is DECA and like what we do, and then also prepare for competition. So tentative, we're still trying to work it out once again, but in February we're going to work in concession stand at the W men's basketball game. One is a fundraiser opportunity because we do get, not sure how much money, but we get some of the profits. And then it also helps us to see how the sports and entertainment. So then in March, we have our first round of competition, which is the Career and Developmental Conference, which is also known as CDC. It's held in Charleston. This is where our students can get like a grip and get firsthand experience with competition. So we do have our 2 rounds of competition. One is like written or prepared. So you have a scenario and you have to come up with a solution before you get there. So like for example, one of them is a startup business plan. So last year we had 3 students form a team and they did a startup business plan. Maybe, I'm not sure what the title was, but they did where they brought Buffalo Wild Wings to Moorfield and bought those stray cat, did all the finance stuff, which is in that category, but all of that into it. How much money it would cost and whatnot. So then we also have, the other side is the role plays, which you get down there, they give you the situation and you have to solve it with like 10 minutes with just a partner and a little bit more if you have, or 10 for like a single, a little bit more if you have a partner. So then we also have the pageant, the dog pageant, which has been a big hit. I'm sure you guys have all seen all the really cute dogs that we've got from that. It's also a really good fundraiser opportunity for us. So then the big shebang is in April. We're going to go to Orlando, Florida this year for ICDC, or the International Career and Developmental Conference. So this is where the winners in Charleston, first and second place winners, get to travel to Orlando and compete on the international scale, which is once again a really amazing opportunity. Last year we went to California, Anaheim, which was very, very big. And then also we're trying to work with painting the launch pad out there because the pavement's a little all over the place, but we're working on it. We're going to try and make it cohesive in one big, beautiful project. That's also going to be like a DECA project. And then finally, I just have a collection of photos from our trip to Charlotte showcasing. So here, these 2 were at closing ceremony. This was for DECA Fun Night. We did the NASCAR Hall of Fame Museum. Here's one of our competition days. And then here's the Justin Timberlake concert. So if you have any questions, I'd be glad to take them.
Name me a NASCAR driver.
Dale Earnhardt,
Modern.
Chase Elliott.
Good. You're in the right make.
We've watched quite a bit of NASCAR at my house.
Nice job.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming.
I can get it.
Okay, next we go on to public comments, and I don't think we have any. Next are the consent items.
Motion to approve the consent items.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. Is there any discussion?
I say one question about page 44, water leak at East Charlie Elementary, Moorfield Elementary.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ritterberger said fixed. I was wondering what that was.
It was $3,409.
I'm not sure.
surprised Whataburger is on a water leak. Caught me off guard.
Sure.
And the very next one down there, it says the split system at East Hardy High School gym. Is that the regular gym or the auxiliary gym?
What was it?
It's the split system at, it says, the split system at East Hardy High School gym, Riddleberger Brothers did.
That would be the main gym.
What was,
We had,
is that the one that kept shorting out? But
We
I
had-
thought that was at the high school, this high school.
well, we have two separate issues. We have an issue here that we just got the part in for today that was put in this evening and this afternoon.
Okay.
I'm assuming it was put in, it arrived and Mr. Kessler was going to put it in. And then we had a separate issue that's at East Hardy. And Riddlebergers came in and then there was an issue with the system itself talking, the computer system talking to itself. So we have to call Train in, but Train's not a registered vendor. So from that time to now, we're still trying to get Train's paperwork. They're about halfway through gathering everything together before we can bring them in to try to fix it. And I think it impacts the library, I know for sure, and then there were issues with the gym as well.
And
That doesn't pertain to this building, is that what you're saying?
No, that's Riddlebergers. They came in, but they could not fix it.
It was $11,000 bill.
Is that the piece, the part then? Maybe that's a separate
It's
thing.
48 hours labor.
Okay, then it's a separate issue.
yeah, I mean, it's
materials for
like,
repairs.
Okay, then that's a separate issue. What's the date on that? I wonder if that wasn't this. past
11/27.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been a couple weeks ago then. I'll have to find out exactly. Sorry, guys. I'm thinking this past since the last meeting that we had. 11/27.
Yeah, that's what's in the,
Okay. I'll have to email you the answer to that question. Off the top of my head.
I mean, that equipment isn't that old. I mean, I'm sure it's out of warranty, you know, the warranties run about 10 days.
Yeah, they're out of warranty for sure, but we've had a lot of issues at both high schools with all of that equipment. Like it's a consistent problem.
That's what, when we were talking about doing things and with this new system,
Mhm.
you know, it doesn't talk to whatever software and all that they get.
This new system will, because we can choose Train as our group that's supposed to operate it. So we've done a few things there to lower costs and to be able to pull it all on the same network.
Good.
So we should be fine with the Moorfield Middle School system, but I'll have to find out exactly which piece that was. We've had a lot of issues with East Hardy High School and Moorfield High School and HVAC, and I just don't want to tell you the wrong
Yeah.
part.
And again, I blame it on the subcontractors.
Not making sure.
Well, I just don't think there's communication, you know, they're just there to get their money, and if it works, I think they think, gee, that's great. And if it doesn't, well, you know, tough toenails. You know, it's scary.
I'll get you those answers though.
So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Uh,
Opposed? All right, so next up is attachment 7, the budget update. Sarah.
This is the budget update for November, and I think they also have, we put October in there as well for approval. And that's the one that we went over at the board retreat.
Okay.
But it is in there for approval since we didn't have a meeting, for that. For November, I don't think anything significant has changed. Salaries have been encumbered as they had been in October, I believe. I've not made the entry for the retirement yet, so, you'll see that difference under the object 200s for this year versus last year, and that's just the timing thing, is to making that entry. I'm still gonna take a look at the water and sewer to see why that's, I'm assuming they just overestimated that. As well as the insurance. But overall, everything is pretty much as as it was.
No red flags.
Really, not at this point.
Okay. You might have any questions? All right, new business. First up's approval of dedication of Moorfield High School gym in memory of Mrs. Charlotte Hill.
Motion. Second.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to stand before you as a former MHS student and now administrator here. With a request that is deeply meaningful to the Moorfield High School family and to all who knew Miss Charlotte Hill. As many of you may know, she was not just a teacher at Moorfield High School. She was beloved by students, colleagues, and parents alike. Her contributions to the school extended far beyond the classroom, and her legacy has touched countless lives. Today, I come before you with a request to dedicate the gymnasium of Moorfield High School in her name. This is not just a request to have her name on a gym, but a request to honor the spirit of a woman whose energy, kindness, and infectious laugh brought warmth and joy to everyone she encountered. Mrs. Hill had an unparalleled passion for education, but she also had an extraordinary gift for encouragement. She was a teacher who cheered the loudest for the underdog and who believed in every student, no matter their background or ability, and who made sure that every student knew they mattered. Whether in the classroom or at an athletic event, Mrs. Hill's presence was one that was unwavering support and always had a ready word of encouragement or a smile to lift our students. The gymnasium is a fitting place to honor Mrs. Hill as it represents the energy, spirit, and teamwork that she fostered in our students. It is in this place that she supported and celebrated the victories, big and small, of both athletes and students alike. Her dedication to the underdog, to helping others rise to their fullest potential, is something we should continue to celebrate. In dedicating the gym to Mrs. Hill, we're not just commemorating her memory, we're ensuring that the values she instilled here at MHS to so many of us, dedication, kindness, encouragement, and perseverance, continue to inspire future generations of Moorfield High School students. I ask that you consider this request not only as an acknowledgement of Mrs. Hill's contributions, but as a tribute to the enduring impact she had on the hearts and minds of our students and community. Thank you for your time and consideration and for supporting the legacy of Mrs. Charlotte Hill.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this? We have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it's approved 5-0. Thank you.
If you let us know when the dedication's going to be, that'd be great. Thank you.
Next up, approval of financial institution contract for Hardy County Schools.
Motion to approve.
Second. Okay.
Here was the bid,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
all four financial institutions did come back with a bid. I listed each bank individually here with what they had listed out in their bid. So each bank agreed to all of the terms that we had requested, all the services that we had asked. All four agreed to provide all of those services at no cost. So pretty much it comes down to the interest rate that each one offered. So Grant County Bank listed there, they listed in their bid a rate equal to the 1-month Treasury constant maturity rate as published by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, currently 4.75%, which would have been on the 4th when this was submitted. Adjusted monthly on the first business day of each month based upon the rate of the last business day of the prior month. Burke and Herbert Bank their bid included a rate equal to the greater of the Federal Reserve Board's high target federal funds rate as determined periodically by its Federal Open Market Committee less 50 basis points, currently equal to 4.25% indexed daily, or 0.25%. So they put a floor that even if the interest rate went below 0.25%, they would still pay interest at a 0.25% rate. Pendleton Community Bank bid at a rate equal to 80% of the Fed funds rate, which results in the current interest rate of 3.8%. And Cape and Valley Bank bid a rate equal to 2.75%. The interest rate is variable and can change at any time at the discretion of the bank. So, currently, that puts Grant County Bank at the highest interest rate for the funds that we have in the bank. They gave their rate based on the treasury rate, the T rates, and the other two banks gave their rate based on the federal funds, Fed funds rate. I did go back through, kind of comes a toss up of what's going to happen over the next couple of years, but I did go back through the last 5 years, and typically those two rates are fairly consistent. They might be off 0.1 or, and that went back and forth. Sometimes one was a little bit more, sometimes the other one was a little bit more, but they stayed fairly, the 1 month T rate stayed fairly consistent with the Fed funds rate over the last 5 years. Now, if you go back a few years prior to that, the Fed fund rate was a little bit higher, significantly more higher than the 1 month treasury rate. What will happen going forward over the next 5 years, I have no idea. But based on current rates, as of now, if the 1 month treasury rate stays consistent with the Fed funds rate, then Grant County offered the highest interest rate.
It says that the motion has been to approve a contract. Where is the contract?
So this was what they bid on a 5-year basis, or 4-year. We did. So we sent out a request for banking services and asked them to provide certain things that we currently have. Deposit slips at no charge, bank fees at no charge, different, they have to be able to give us a bank reconciliation that uploads into the Weavis formatted system, different things like that
That you already had, correct?
we sent out as part as the RFP, yeah, that they could then, here it is, let's see it, I think. This is what we had sent out to them.
Okay.
We had the last 5 years, 4 years, whatever.
Well, I don't know when the bank was ever bid out before.
Oh, okay.
Maybe,
It's been the same since I've been here.
It's never been bid out, has it?
Vita would, I think, maybe call every now and again and ask, but
It's always
we've
been
never done
some-
an official
Hasn't it?
since I've been here.
it's not one of the things that we're technically required to bid out. It's just, I thought it would be a good idea. A couple of the other banks over the last couple of years have come by and, just asked if we were going to ever bid out, give them an opportunity. And, all of the banks support our schools in different ways and different, forms, and just thought it would be good to bid it out. To see.
Well, if you're an individual, you're gonna go to the bank that pays the highest interest rate, that's just good money management.
It makes sense.
So is this a 4-year contract or?
It's a 5-year. 5-year with, of course, the opportunity, we can get out of it, yeah. We usually put that in all of our contracts that we have the.
Would there be any,
notice.
I'm sorry,
No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
would there be any possibility of whatever we choose, if the interest rates overall go higher, that we would get a higher rate?
Well, we're gonna get, yeah, what Grant
It
County,
goes up with,
Grant County bid to give us the full rate.
Right,
Yeah, so
whatever the T rate is.
yeah, whatever that treasury rate is set at is the rate that we're gonna
oh,
get.
okay, so it's not locked in at
No.
at
it's-
this,
no,
okay.
That's just
It could
currently
go
what
higher.
it was. It was 4.75. And then you can see, Burke and Herbert bid 50 less points, which took theirs to 4.25%. And then Pendleton bid 80% of that rate,
Yeah.
which took it to 3.8.
Okay,
So you need a
but then
motion, or
it
what do you need?
fluctuates with,
Well, we
There's,
had-
there's
yeah,
a
we- I
motion.
withdraw my motion because it wasn't, it didn't specify which bank. Do we have to, we should specify that,
which
right?
bank, yeah.
Yeah.
So I withdraw mine. I move that we accept Grant County Bank's.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor to accept the rate from Grant County Bank for our bid of banking services for a contract period of 5 years. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Aye. So it's 4-1. Okay, next up is approval of Eastern West Virginia Community and Technical College, the Level Up Memorandum of Understanding. It's attachment 8.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve this. Does anybody have any questions or discussion? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. And it's approved 5-0. Attachment 9, the dual credit list.
Move to
Under
approve.
here.
Move to approve.
Have a motion to
Second.
approve and a second. Any discussion or questions?
This looks like an impressive list of dual credit opportunities to me for our students. I mean, a lot of opportunity. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Looks like you could earn a semester's or more college credit pretty easily. Maybe not easily in terms of classwork, but
Before you actually get enrolled in college,
right,
save you a lot of money.
exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. That's what I love about it.
Well, and it's good experience so that you know
Kinda.
more of the rigor that you're going to be facing and can gear up to that. So it's not a big
Right.
shock freshman year, like, holy cow. So
Yeah.
it's good. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, and it's approved 5-0. The next thing is the resolution urging the state of West Virginia to stabilize the Public Employees Insurance Agency.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve this resolution. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, and it's approved 5-0. And I think Sean has the paper for all of us to
Sean has the
sign.
one for us to sign.
Simon version of it.
You know it won't have any info.
It's the same.
Kind of a done deal, I'm afraid.
That's right. It is what it is, but
Okay.
at least we know we have an
Okay.
opinion.
Next up, board member superintendent discussion. No action may be taken.
I have a couple of things. First of all, the water leak at East Hardy Elementary, they think they have narrowed that down to where Steve Williams actually reached out after the last meeting and said that he had a suggestion that there were always issues with the size of the pipe that goes from the building to the meter.
Get smaller.
that it had, yep, it's smaller, and he thinks that's recommended too. That's probably where some of our pressure
Yeah.
issues have come from, because I guess that feeds into a larger pipe. So we have a contractor lined up that's going to come in and just dig up and replace that entire pipe. So right now, we're working on getting that paperwork finalized, but they're gonna do that as soon as students let out. So when school dismisses, as long as we have all the paperwork in, and we should, that contractor's gonna come in and
Thank you, Jen.
replace that whole section, which we think will take care of the leak. When he looked at it, he said it, based upon where it was, it looked like it would fall right down into that drain, right down into that ditch and drain right out, and we would never see it. So we're hoping that that's the sections. We're gonna dig it up and just replace that whole piece, which needed to be done anyway. I hope that takes care of the issue.
Who did that smaller pipe into a larger pipe?
I believe that it's been there for quite some time, but I believe it was the previous director of maintenance that did that, Mr. Williams. I think he called and said, hey, we should have done it this way. So therefore,
Oh, but
we probably need to fix it.
you mean he realized that that wasn't the way it
Yeah,
should
it happened
be?
when he was, my understanding was he chose that size of pipe thinking it was sufficient, not on purpose, obviously. And has
Okay,
had issues with it when he was here. And so called to say, hey, that's where the problem might be.
okay.
That's my
Well,
understanding.
that was nice of him.
Super nice that he reached out. So
Yeah.
that kind of pushed us into
Why would you?
working on that section. So that was the one thing I wanted to tell you. And the other
You
is
said student.
Why would you choose a pipe?
for Christmas break,
Okay.
so we can shut the water off. Yeah.
Anything you
Which would
choose a
be
bigger
this,
pipe.
after this Friday. We have the child nutrition director's posting. And this is simply updated from the way it was when we hired Mrs. Lewis to state what the requirements are by the state now for them to have as a certification piece. So that piece has been updated. I can pass this around. I can scan it and email it to you. My hope would be that we can post it in January, but I just wanted to bring it up. 240 day is what it currently is, and I wanted to make sure that was still how you wanted to leave it. And if you want to see what it looks like,
Why
again, I'll
don't you
scan and email it all to
us?
everybody, but I didn't know if anybody wanted to look at it now. I just wanted to post it.
Do you have
in
it with you?
January if we can.
Does it need to be 240 days?
Thank you.
I think that you're gonna want that person to have days to work over the summer. So if you take that away, you're gonna only give them 20. And when you have food to order, kitchens to maintain, freezers to check, I think 240 is that's a good
Okay.
fit. Yeah. But if there's anything else that you think of that you want us to consider adding or specifying in that, Mrs. Lewis has worked out where I believe she won't be working. She'll finish up at the end of March based upon the days that she has left to take personal, not vacation, OS. I think that's her plan as of right now that she submitted. So if we could hire this person to begin the beginning of March, that would give them time to train and learn the kitchens, the equipment, the inventories, the systems, and then she'll exit, and that person would need to take over before the year's out because she won't be in place. So just wanted to share that with you guys and let you know what was going on there so we could get it hired in January.
Does this require a degree
Yes. Mm-hmm.
in?
Specific child nutrition certifications. I think the degree can vary, but they have to have a specific school child nutrition certification, which is some courses they have to take. And the way that the posting is they don't have to have it when they get hired, but they have a certain amount of time where they have to get it in order to maintain that employment. So nothing special or crazy about it. I just wanted to share it with you so that we were prepared to act when the time came. And I told you before we talk about it again, so I don't want to be hanging on there. I think that's the only other thing I have.
I had to ask Dr. Van Meter, I'm a little concerned. When I was a teacher, I like to have my kids a whole week, every day. I asked her to find out how many days the kids actually went to school a whole week last year. Because we missed an awful, like I said, and if we could put like PD days, if you could put them together instead of spreading them out, when you're not going to run for the board, you can make enemies this time. So, but I just think we miss way too much. way too much school.
I'll get
And
you.
I know some things are out of your control, our control, but it just seems like I said, I want my kids all day, 5 days a week.
Yeah, I'll figure that out for you. I'll tell you what we did last year.
Okay.
Well, it could be too. I mean, since we're talking about it, that we can have a lot of the PD days the first part of school before you bring the kids in.
Well, I even thought maybe you could lump them together at the middle of the year.
Yeah,
I'd rather have 5 or 6, 7 days in a row. You could have like a midwinter, because that's when you miss a lot of school because of snow days anyway. And I never did like 3-hour delays. I never really liked 2-hour delays as a principal, but I was totally against the 3-hour delays,
And we're not doing those. this year.
No, you taught, that's good.
We're trying to stick to 2, that way we can feed them breakfast and make sure. And I was telling Mr. Hines also, the PD days, some of it would work clumped together, and we do those 5 days at the beginning of the year. Now we do a whole week. But what hurts us is, like our science of reading training and things we have at the elementary, the way that training is you have a whole unit, and then you have to have a day of instruction from the person, and then you'll have a whole unit, and then that person has to come back. So those things you couldn't do multiple in a row because there's stuff they do in between. Those are the elementaries.
Well, we can maybe look at it.
But yeah, we'll certainly look
Yeah,
at it, and
thank
I'll figure out what we had last year to share with you. And we can break it down. And our county's doing our own calendar this year, remember? So that'll be something that'll be coming up too. We can talk to the teachers about.
I apologize. I've got grandkids, Christmas program and
Be
grandma.
careful. It's easy.
I just passed out that South Branch stuff. Since you brought up the calendar, last South Branch meeting, they were awfully concerned about our students missing when we do run the calendar, if it doesn't run as close to theirs as possible. She said that you told her, someone had told her we were starting 2 weeks later.
No, when I talked to Shelley, I told her I had no idea what the proposed calendars would even be, that it may even be the same calendar.
Well, I think we need to spend a lot of time looking at that. It can't be a whole big difference, I don't think.
I bet she's referring to Labor Day, because I think one of the things that our group wanted to do was to have a post-Labor Day start. That might be where she's
Well,
getting the
could
2
be.
weeks. I know that's a proposed calendar, but
Well, right,
Well,
they're concerned about missing, if it would be 2 weeks before, how those kids are gonna make up, and the absence, that it'll be at the end of the year for up there, and they're testing and all that. She said she'd be willing to come talk to us and tell us their concerns if you would like her to, And Charles had said, well, before they started doing the Tri-County calendar, that's what happened. All the absences, one county was out and one county was going, there was total confusion. So I think we still need to work and be as close to that calendar as we can. Have you seen any of the projected
no,
calendar?
I have not yet.
Have they been working, do you know, or?
Yes, they have been working on them. I know that each campus is developing their own, so like you'll have an East Hardy one. From those 2 schools, you'll have a Moorfield Middle, Moorfield Intermediate, and Moorfield High, Moorfield Elementary, and those are supposed to be the 3. And then they'll come and they'll eventually turn them in when they get them finished, and then we'll go from there from voting. We'll have to make sure that they have all of the required
Sure.
things that the state has in it.
Well, we just want to make sure that if we're sending kids up there, that we give them the best opportunity to be there. She was telling me some of the nursing students on the days that we were out would drive up there on their own. And I thought, boy, that was remarkable that those kids would do that.
Oh, yeah,
And you don't want to force kids to do that all the time.
yeah.
So I think we need to spend a little time on the calendars when they get here and not just vote on whatever's in front of us.
Yeah.
Mrs. Campbell, can they drive to VOTAC? Do they have to get permission
They have to get permission.
from both?
the-
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. And I had even talked to her about, if we needed, depending on what it was, if we could pay for a bus driver a couple extra weeks to give those kids a way to get to and from, if that was what it ended up being. But what ended up happening, and I think when the LSICs requested to do this, and you guys said, go ahead and let them do their own calendar and pull away. When we do that, what I think that the county doesn't understand, not board members, but the school system, schools, is that even in Hardy County, the schools didn't agree upon the same calendar.
Oh, no.
So it'll be really interesting to me to see how we vote on 3 calendars that we create, because I don't think that Hardy County has one calendar in mind that unanimously all 6 schools are
I
going
think
to.
it'd be more confusing than putting on the 3 before.
So we'll see how that turns out. It might be it might be a real learning experience for us this year. And if it doesn't work out, then next year we go back to, working with.
I just want to make sure we spend some time on it. not just vote on the counter because it
Yes.
comes to us. We need to look at it when it does get here.
Well, especially if we're talking about grouping some of the professional development days where, like Doug said, because that would affect. And, we would maybe need the kids to go if they're in VOTAC, whether they were out or not.
Yeah, it gets interesting when you try to balance it and get all the things you want at one time, but we'll look at what they have and talk about what our priorities are. And if we need to bring those folks in that are on the calendar committee and have a conversation with them about it and explain it, we can do that too. Okay. We'll see what we get. Yeah. I'm anxious to see them.
The other thing on this discussion is that I talked with Sheena about our sports facility over at Moorfield Elementary School after we had our last update. And Josh had said that they were going to put that turf down, and which is basically just like a carpet. And I really, really had concerns with that because of the inability to be able to clean it. We've been there before and I didn't want to revisit that. And the second thing was the bathroom. They have one toilet over there. And I don't think that that's appropriate. I think that they should have a male and a female restroom. Separate facilities and maybe one toilet in each. They don't need 20 toilets, but at least one toilet in each. So, those were my concerns. And, Dr. Van Meter said she would look into it.
And I shared that with Mr. C, and I think he'll talk to you about it at the next meeting when he's here. But they're already trying to get pricing on some flooring options. He was a little concerned about the toilet because I guess it's plumbed for one. I'm not sure what would need to be done in order to get a second one in there, but he was going to check on that and have an update for you.
We've just got to get another toilet in there. If a young man goes in there and, there's not a urinal and pees all over the
lid.
sink. Yeah. And then, a girl goes in there and, that's not good.
It wouldn't be,
It's
if
not
they've got a drain,
healthy.
it wouldn't be all that difficult, would it, Melvin?
No,
If they already have the drain.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a little
just,
costly now, but I think
Yeah,
it's
more, yeah.
already done.
yeah. Well, and it's not anybody's fault because that building has evolved. It was gonna be just,
A shell building.
yeah, and it's evolved into what will be their recreation and gym. And I think that we're justified to spend additional money for it to get it where it needs to be for the students. Because the cost of that building would have been a couple million anyway. So we need to not spend that much, but I think that we need to not.
Settle.
Yeah, I think it needs to be so that they start using it and they say, oh, we can't use this building and it, and bring you a list of things that are wrong with it. So we don't want that to happen. Does anybody else have anything else?
Did the new bus arrive?
She just won't take your ride.
I want to ride.
It did not arrive.
Yellow school bus.
Josh was saying it would be here the day after our meeting. And I just wonder if it has.
We'll let you drive.
No, maybe
You don't
we
have-
could-
You don't have your CDL, so you can't drive.
Yeah, we could
I have-
ride through town and look at Christmas lights.
I don't think it doesn't give me any information out of the room. so I'm
No,
assuming
she
it
does
hasn't
that.
come.
Yeah, there must have been a delay because.
LSICs, most of them are doing a really good job about their agenda. There are still some that will post today before the meeting.
I'll give them
And
a
that
reminder.
really needs to be taken care of.
Okay, future agenda items. Anybody have anything they'd like?
New
Okay.
buses. See if the new bus is here.
We'll move on to announcements. Our next Board of Education meeting will be on January 6th at 5 at the BOE office. So, how about mission statements and accomplishments?
Milford High School Choir.
A big shout out to Adam Sherman, and is it Ralph? Wojciech, I don't know how to say. Okay, for those $100,000 scholarships, and then $40,000 to the other William for his. That's amazing.
Yeah.
To me, that is just awesome that those kids got that kind of money for technology from, their robotics experience. Yay for them.
Watching that program grow to what it is now, that's
Right.
really impressive.
Right.
Are those Moorfield High School students, Moorfield Middle School?
Those are
High school.
Adam
Robotics
Sherman's a
opens up a
senior,
Senior.
and
I
where
think
did
that-
he get a scholarship to?
I
Joe?
don't remember. It was
Is
on,
that
I could
Joe
look it on
Chanel's
either.
boy? Is that Joe and Emily's boy?
No,
That's Connie.
Scott and Connie.
Okay. So he gets $100,000 to go any
$100,000.
school.
No,
It's a
it's to,
technical engineer, it's an engineering school.
It is.
It's a,
He can
do you
choose,
remember the
He
name?
just got accepted, but I can't remember
it's
what
a
college. he
specific
just
university
found out this
engineering
week.
but he
program.
can use it
And it's a
any.
good one.
That's pretty
His mother told me the other
It's like the top, yeah. one of the
I'll
top.
find it.
Yeah, that's great. He's a nice young man too.
Yeah.
He was a good guy.
Yeah, but that just blows your mind to think that.
Both of them are.
The track ribbon cutting was good, weather permitting, and it was terrible, but it was a good crowd of people there.
Good.
That was quite a project to pull off, and Logan and those people did an excellent job doing that.
Yeah.
The track,
Just get the governor here now to give us that other chunk of money.
Potentially tomorrow or, no,
No,
potentially
you said
Wednesday or
Wednesday or
Thursday,
Thursday.
because tomorrow is the School Building Authority Awards, and he will be in attendance at that, so I'll be attending that, but, I was just gonna tell you, Mr. C responded and said that the bus did not come, one had a transmission issue, it's an Allison issue, so they are waiting for them to come from Atlanta before they will be delivered,
It's not a
so.
good sign.
Not a good sign at all.
Be like the car that broke down that time out at the Kentucky coal mine. Remember that several years ago? There was an electric car. They broke down and the coal miners had to
you
push.
have to push the
Yeah.
car.
I can see the kids pushing the bus.
Okay, I was wrong. William did not, it wasn't 40,000, it was a $7,000 merit scholarship, but he has received
It's still like
6
that.
nominations from U.S. congressmen for the service academies.
Oh,
6
wonderful.
nominations. And he's also been accepted to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, which is one of the top 5 aerospace schools in the country, and a $7,000 merit scholarship to Embry-Riddle.
I think
And
we ought to
then
invite those
Adam-
gentlemen into a meeting and congratulate them.
I think so too. Adam, whoops, I just lost it. Come on. Adam and Ralph were accepted into Rose Holman Institute of Technology, the #1 undergraduate engineering program in the United States for the last 26 consecutive years, each earning a $100,000 merit scholarship. To me, that is just
And where is that?
not sure.
I would have thought MIT would have been the highest rated.
Anyway, that's remarkable.
Indiana.
That's great.
Tell me.
And I agree with Melvin. It'd be nice if they could come and.
And congratulations to the East Hardy girls volleyball for being runner-up
Runner-up.
state champions, runner-up champions.
I wanted them to bring home that state title, but it
Yeah.
wasn't in the cards this time. They're gonna do it. Okay, Next up, we go to personnel.
Do I need to do number 16 separately, Mrs. Rose?
What do we have to do legally? I can abstain
You want to do it that way?
You
I'll just
could.
do it.
You
rather
can
than,
do that. You
rather
can do
than
that.
have to leave.
You can abstain.
So I can abstain.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
So I'll start with, a recommendation to approve Tammy Clayton as a restricted short-term substitute teacher countywide.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Duh.
Wait,
Little
wait.
vacation there.
Abstain.
So it's 4-0 with
Right.
one
No,
abstention.
3-1. Because
Oh,
Roy
that's
left.
right,
Roy
Roy
left.
left.
3
Janet
and an
3 and
abstain.
1 abstention.
All right, and then I'll recommend the approval of the remaining personnel actions for December 16th as presented.
Motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the remaining recommended personnel actions. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and we are 4-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and it's approved